We want Trump in. And Trump's going to come in. And Trump's going to come in with force. And Trump's going to come in with power.
Is it me or does that sound really gay?
We're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Seriously, though, forget about what Bannon's actually saying or threatening to do to Democrats, and you'll hear more from him in a second. But doesn't it all sound like Trump isn't a politician to them, but instead they're God, their obese messiah?
On June 14th, 1946, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God gave us Trump. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, fix this country, work all day, fight the Marxists, eat supper, then go to the Oval Office and stay past midnight at a meeting of the heads of state. So God made Trump. I need somebody with arms, strong enough to rustle the deep state, and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to ruffle the feathers, tame cantankerous World Economic Forum, come home hungry, have to wait until the First Lady is done with lunch with friends, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon, and mean it. So God gave us Trump.
Is he your messiah? I didn't think so, and neither do the other 7 billion people on the planet. No, to them he appears as a pustulant bucket of prison jizz, whirling around in his made-in-China MAGA world.
Do you believe schools should be teaching critical race theory?
No.
Why not?
I feel like, honestly, it brings about more racism, bringing more issues around that don't need to be.
What is critical race theory for people that don't understand it?
See, I really don't even know. I'm assuming. Can you explain it a little bit to me, honestly?
Yeah. Steve Bannon is that guy with no friends who grew up in his mom's basement, who only gets stiff when other people are suffering.
And Trump's going to come in with intention and motive and muzzle velocity and all of it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
To do what? To set things right. And part of it, and this is why you can tell they're nervous and they're wetting themselves, is Steve Bannon reporting that they're out all night, up at night with the doing the blanket pardons, the blanket preemptive pardons all night. No, that's what they're doing. They're leaking it to the press because they're nervous. Weissman's nervous. Brennan's nervous. Milley's nervous. Fauci's nervous, and they should be nervous because we got them now boxed in. They can take one of two choices. Pick them. You can either give the blanket preemptive pardons, which we dare you. Do it. We dare you. Do it. If you do that, the Democratic Party is shattered for a generation. One generation, maybe never to return.
No one's frightened of you, Steve, or Hegseth, or Pam Bondi, or RFK Jr., or your education secretary. Okay, maybe her.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Let me tell you why we're not afraid. While the MAGA base shows up for elections, middle-aged, conservative, evangelical hypocrites supporting a racist, raping traitor, the rest of us are divided into two camps. People like me, who will fight you every step of the way with education, logic, reason, sweat, and numbers, and I will win every time.
I love the poorly educated.
That's why. And then there's young people who grew up saddled with inflated tuition costs and unattainable health insurance, while boomers raped our environment and our economic freedom.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the f*** I'm talking about.
There's a growing anger with these young people who don't have my tolerance or my empathy. Look, I deplore these acts. They're short-sighted and lead to more death and despair, because invariably innocent people who get in the way start dying, and we start hearing words like collateral damage. But I must say, this kid and millions like him aren't buying the MAGA pull yourself up by your bootstraps bullshit, because to paraphrase Dr. King, they don't have enough to even buy the boots.
The moderate and the thinking Democrats up there understand. They're going, what in the hell are these guys doing? First question you should ask is, what did they do? Why are they nervous? You shouldn't have Kash Patel walking around and Pete Hegseth walking around. Maybe you should call up Milley and have him come over and visit a couple offices. How about Fauci? Maybe bring all the Fauci books. King, Fauci's this, Fauci. Remember that back in the day, greatest? We said right here. We used a metaphor. Put his head on a pike. They banned us from everything for that comment. Do you think we cared to say, oh, this is so terrible, boo-hoo-hoo, call YouTube, call Google, please put us back on? Screw you. We don't need any of your platforms. We're bigger and more powerful than ever, and we never wanted anything. Twitter let us on a couple weeks ago after 3 years of banning and 2 years of Elon. You know what we said? Forget it, not interested.
You heard that right. Bannon said he wanted Fauci beheaded.
And that's the second term. Second term kicks off with firing Ray, firing Fauci. Now, I actually want to go a step farther, but I realize the president is a kind-hearted man and a good man. I'd actually like to go back to the old times of Tudor England. I'd put the heads on pikes, right? I'd put them at the two corners of the White House as a warning to federal bureaucrats. You either get with the program or you're gone.
Okay, now here's my point. Fauci, Cheney, Comey, Chris Wray, John Kelly, McCabe, Brennan, and Milley, they stood up to Trump because that's their First Amendment rights. But even more importantly, these are smart men and women who have the good of our nation in their hearts.
Even I say to myself, you're a frickin' genius.
And Trump is a malignant sociopath who's unable to take criticism on any level. To that point, name one time Trump has self-deprecated, made light of his wheelbarrow full of moral and personal shortcomings. He's incapable.
America now has the best economy in the history of our country.
And every lie about his best economy or tariffs or Putin and Russia are all shaped to make him look like what he will never be, a capable leader in a democratic republic. But that said, I'm not sure he ever wanted that.
I want to be a dictator.
But Steve Bannon is a perfect metaphor for Trump's declining cognitive state. He's like the younger brother desperately begging to ride shotgun, but no one likes him. So he grows up in the back seat with this enormous grudge and becomes the bully that used to beat him down.
One of their criminals like Comey, or you get a guy like Brennan or McCabe and Comey who are criminals, and they will spend a long time in prison. And I will tell you, prison will be quite tough for them.
So here's the truth hiding behind the Mike Flynns and the Steve Bannons.
We're not gay.
They are political pornography, maybe exciting at first, but ultimately void of substance and meaning. The MAGA infrastructure is like an Escher painting, all that movement but going nowhere. 8 years, and what have they accomplished? We have tolerated MAGA because despite Trump's declarations about deportation and arresting political enemies, there's no upside for him to act on any of that. Trump has avoided prison and stands to make billions bartering away the White House. Why would he with that?
And all I can say is strap in.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Bannon's crazy idea of a modern revolution, it's just a wet dream. How do I know? Because the companies like United Healthcare that everyone seems to hate, they don't want the system to collapse. They don't want martial law. And that means the House and Senate, who needs their dollar bills, don't want it either. Trump can't run again, so the next 4 years will be the Cruzes, Hawleys, Vances, all looking for the right time to step off and hope your memories will be erased by the ecstasy of no more Trump. And maybe that's what will happen, like how America quickly forgot Nixon. We forgot about Nixon and started hating Jimmy Carter. Why? Because the price of gas went up to 50 cents a gallon.
Oh, my.
But let's just say I'm wrong and Trump goes after Fauci and Comey, Cheney, and Kinzinger. What will be the reaction? Well, two things. The midterms might explode for the Democrats, maybe where they get the 67 votes in the Senate, the magic number for successful impeachment, or, and no one wants this, the streets begin to fill with millions of angry young people who watched rich white Republicans erase trillions of their PPP debt while these young people collapsed under the weight of student loans and their obscene interest payments. And here's your dose of irony. The Fortune 1000, who are the worst that capitalism offers, well, they have power, and they won't allow us to turn into one of those shithole third world nations Trump decried.
It's not going to happen like you think it's going to happen.
Fat Stevie's right, but he just doesn't understand how. Americans have been complacent for a long time, thinking that things always have a way of working out. Patience. But Trump and MAGA, they don't inspire patience. And there are millions of young people who every day are losing theirs.
Hail Trump!
Damn right.
I'm as mad as hell.
This is not a normal election.
Whether the women like it or not.
Suck my fat one.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore!
Trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Dan.
Who's with me?
Oh yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.